today's lesson, we'll be going over some of the gestures that are included in a routine called Chha Banchos, and this routine is very crucial and important to learning Cambodian classical dance. It helps you practice staying on beat, listening to the music. It helps you practice your flexibility, and it also helps you learn some of the basic gestures and your memorization skills, because the routine can be like very long. The short version is about 15 minutes, 14 to 15 minutes. For this video, you'll just need enough space to move around in, and I recommend wearing a t-shirt tucked into sweatpants, but as long as you have any clothing that is comfortable you can move around in and that covers your knees, you should be good. In this video, we'll be going over just the gestures, but I recommend that after this lesson you go back and try it with the music instead. But for this lesson, we'll just be going over how to do the gestures. Also, before you start this lesson, make sure you go through all the stretches that was indicated in lesson 2 and 3. Okay, so for this lesson, we'll just be going over how to do the gestures, but on your own time, I highly recommend that you watch the Chha Banchos video and try to follow along with the beat as well. And also make sure that you also stretch before you do the basic gestures. So for this lesson, we'll be going over just how to do the gestures, but on your own time, I highly recommend that you try it with the music and see if you can stay on beat as well. And this video will also only cover a few of the gestures, but if you're interested, I highly recommend that you check out and try to learn Chha Banchos on your own as well. So, the first gesture that we'll be doing is we're going to keep our hands upwards like this, around like your stomach area, rotate it, and let go. And then you're going to put it back on your lap. Alright, so let's try that again. So you're just going to keep upwards, out, and then put it back on your lap. And then try to also have your head follow along with your hands. So we're going to go turn your chin to the left, and then turn it to the right, and then back to the middle. Another important thing to know is that while you're dancing or practicing this routine, you'll often hear two of many instruments, but two that I will mention in this video are the drum, and you'll also frequently hear something called the chhing, which is like a handheld cymbal, and it's two metal circles that are clapped together and connected by a string that produce a ding sound. Now we'll get into the next gesture, and it is Sappeah. So normally when we, like in normal conversations, we Sappeah to greet someone, and we also do Sappeah to pray. And in dance, it's similar to the, like when we normally talk to each other like this, and when we greet someone we have our fingers together, but in dance we have thumbs spread apart. And just like in normal conversations, the placement of your hands matters a lot. So for example, in dance, when you have your hands up here, you're basically referring to the gods and praying to them. Let's try the Sappeah gesture. So to do this, we're going to keep upwards, and here, which is around like my stomach area, and then bring it in and hold it. And you also want to have your head follow your hands, and you're going to look like and down just slightly, and then back up. And so let's do this together with our head and hands. So we're here and here. And to be honest, I'm still working on my Sappeah as well, but it might take a couple of tries, raising your hand and lowering your head as well, and just doing that a couple of times to get it right. So let's do this again. And then after we bring it here, we're going to try raising it to our forehead. In the video that will be linked with this lesson, you'll see that the dancers do raise it here and then to their forehead just once. But just for practice, we're going to try this 3 times and see how it goes and how much improvement we make. So here we go. Keep upwards. Actually, let's do it with our head as well, actually. So I'm going to look down and keep up, and then here, and then lower your head again, and then raise it to your forehead level. Now when I do this, I have my thumbs like where my forehead and hairline meet, and my fingers are bent as far away from each other as possible. And here. Okay, so let's do this again, and then we're going to do it 3 times in a row. So here, and then we're going to go to our forehead, and then back down, okay, so that's one. Then feel free to pause the video and try that 2 more times on your own. So now the next gesture that we'll be doing is with the Sappeah, with our hands here. We're going to practice swaying from side to side. And so what that's going to look like is we're going to spread first our right leg out slightly and practice moving our head and swaying. So we're here, and then we're gonna sway to the left first, and as we sway, extend our right leg out, we're moving our hands down and then back up, and then swaying to the right, and then, so that's the first sway. Then we're gonna sway back to the center, and as I'm swaying, I'm moving my hands down and up like this, and then I'm gonna spread out my left leg like that. And as you can notice, I'm having my chin following like wherever like my leg is moving, and my hand as well. Then we're gonna come back to the center and sway again like this. Okay, so let's try that again. Actually, so our hands were here, and now we're gonna sway. So right, and then center, left, and then center, and then end it. So today we just learned the first basic gesture that we just learned one basic gesture as well as Sappeah, and we also learned how to Sappeah and what it means. And so I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you next time.